gone for a few weeks, Miller. But while you were gone, we went ahead and did the overlay. We had a big 2.5-inch step here from when we originally did the parking lot. I wasn't sure how far we were going to go back into the lot where the landscape division and everyone is, so we tapered out a wedge to get in here, and then we ended up putting a little swale so we can get the water out in between the two shops. But aside from the garage door going in, she's all weather tight and sealed. We got quite a bit more room. It looked deceiving when we first put this up. Remember when we walked it with the slab, I didn't think we were going to have much if anything back here, but as you can see, we're going to have way more space for assembly. Zach wants, we're going to put the fab tables, all the welding equipment, and the fab corner here to the right. Then you have an open fab space. We're going to have the 2 lifts for installs go here, and then we're just leaving the rest of it open, floating space. So if we have to, like when we did the Prerunner, it takes more time to put it on the lift than it does to just do it on the floor with jacks and jack stands. So we're going to have all of that space wide open to same thing like the Prerunner. Depending on how long like you do a project like that, it's going to sit up in the air for 3 months, so it'll probably be over in one of the corners and then transition to over here. I put a drain in this time, so when we clean the floor, grinding just makes an astronomical amount of dust and it gets everywhere. So being able to get that out and keep the dust level down makes everybody happier, especially for the sinuses. We got to put some electrical. We got the HVAC and everything already sitting here. Get a few more things plumbed up. I don't know if you were back when Caleb got, he's been doing a few panels at a time because they take up so much space in the booth, but we got the first rear panel. She's been blocked and primed, heavy primer, so everything is ready to truly mock up, and we can go ahead and finish mount, and then he'll go through and block it one more time and then go ahead and throw some color on it. But the bed cage should be here within the next few days, and we'll go ahead and bring the body back inside, cut out the panels that we need for the floor. We've got to cut out the fenders. We're going to go ahead and tub those. There's a notch in the center of the bed that's for the pumpkin or for the truss on the rear axle. We'll get that final mocked and then send that off to get rhino lined, and then Caleb can go ahead and start finish painting everything.
We got Andy doing a pit stop over here. Andy!
Andy's doing a lunchtime 4-piece. First. We've gotten quite a few questions on what is the difference between the 23s, on what bolts up factory and what doesn't. These are Fiberworks fenders for the 19 and up, and these are direct bolt-on. They were pretty easy to fit. We had to shim just a little bit, bend a few tabs here and there, but that's what you have to do regardless. These were fine. From here on this front valance, this part and this headlight is what changed on the 23s. On the 20 and up on Zach's truck, if you look out there, it does have a sweeping fender, but it's not as aggressive, and there's a big square in the valance here. So what we did is we had to take the fiberglass, we bought it 19 and up valance, and Zach cut it about here, and we transitioned and seamed it into the ABS plastic and tried to roll this so that the body line, it's pretty much seamless. We're gonna run a tube style front bumper that follows the contour of this and then has a few gusset bars on it. I don't like running the stubby grill bumper, and there's way too much going on the front end of these trucks to just put that little bar up there. Caleb and Zach did a pretty good job at flushing this in. If you look on the back side of it, it's been plated and gusseted. I mean, it's 10 times stronger than it was as factory, and it almost looks like it came that way. While you were gone, we painted this wall, because now that we're moving everything on the install side to the back shop, try and keep the area clean, and we're gonna make this the delivery room and final assembly. So we got the logo going on the wall, kind of like what we did over at Function. We're gonna do something to the floor in here That's been the biggest ball ache, because no matter what you do, whether it's epoxy, whether it's stain, the tires and jack stands and everything, just chew it up. But we're gonna find something to jazz this up a little bit, and then that way when customers come to pick up their final delivery of their vehicle, they can see it when they walk in, and it'd be cool to take some pictures and stuff up against the wall rather than, it's a giant, I think that thing's 22 feet or whatever, and the grinding dust goes all the way up. It's a pain to keep clean, so it's gonna be hopefully a lot easier and nicer now. Last time you were here, Zach was finishing the inside of the console. We were going to figure out the layout. So the way this is going to work, there's a section in here. You'll have one pistol that fits this way and one that fits this way. The magazines go here. This will be illuminated. We got our cup holders in, the switch pros is in, shifters in. We left a wide open space here for the guys that want to go full Kibby Tech and run a hoon handle or a handbrake. We have room for another switch pros here if you decide to add any more accessories. That's going to be our exhaust valves, grill lights, pillar, dust. Got our driver. We've already gone over that. If you want to use the factory one, you have to pull out the heating element out of a factory seat. We're going to run PRP's heating elements, so that's driver heated seat, passenger heated seat. We got rock lights in the fender wells and underneath just to show off the suspension when it's actually parked, and then our rack lights that are on the bed cage. Everything else in here is going to stay stock. Transition into the rear. We're going to go ahead and start putting the bench seat in, get that all finished up, and then I think the only thing that we're going to add onto the bottom of this is going to be a battery kill switch. I was debating whether to put it on the driver's side floorboard or passenger side, but there's plenty of room for it, and it's out of the way down here on the bottom. We did get these Resto Air vents, and those things, they're pricey. I'll go ahead and warn you, they are not for the faint of heart, but they're probably the sickest air vent I've ever seen on any build, whether it's a hot rod, let alone a Prerunner. All we've got left now, we're going to build the lid, figure out what we're going to do for the latch and for the enclosure. Then we're going to go ahead and dyno mat the inside of it so everything is all soundproof, you don't have that real tinny noise. Then send it off to upholstery, and we're going to match the seats. So we're going to do a combination of the black leather, suede, and then the side panels are going to have the diamond stitching. Zach's going to go ahead, we're going to recess some access panels on the side so you can get to all the wiring and everything, and then we'll probably have 4 Allen head machine screws that'll be hidden in the corners so you can just take it off without having to take the console in and out. We wanted to get the actual layout and everything installed first and make sure that the seats and everything flowed freely and weren't impeded by anything before we went and spent any more time on that. But it was nice that we got this whole thing knocked out while we were waiting on the rest of the stuff from Kibby Tech. Another thing that we get a ton of questions on is what's the difference between Switch Pros or S-Pod or running Amazon switches. When you pay $500 for a switch controller, you're not just paying for some touch switches. It is an actual module that gets wired into the firewall. Everything is pre-laid out for you. They give you a harness, everything is pre-terminated, labeled, gives you all your connectors, all your mounting plates. It is not some overseas BS. It's worth every penny. If you're on the fence about it, the minute you open the box, you'll understand why it costs what it costs, and it'll save you a ton of aggravation. I mean, the amount of what comes in their kit for every switch imaginable, you don't have to go on and buy extra sheets. They do have licensed sheets for like Baja Designs lights. They even have a couple joke ones, but this, in our opinion, is the best looking, most well put together kit on the market.
So what's
that is?
Set to movie?
Dead battery.
Is it set to movie mode or picture mode?
You're in movie mode, you're recording.
All my batteries are gone.
Oh shit, we are recording. Look at that.
Making business right here.
Where the magic happens.
Method. You
I would
filming the
zoom-
filmer right now?
I would zoom in, but I don't know how.
Here, just twist this right here.
Don't break it.
Break,
more than
break
It
it,
costs more than this
you
drill.
buy it.
Yeah, I'd say it costs a little bit more than that drill. Go film him coming out of the bathroom.
About 5 G's.
Get the camera doing.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about it being fucking shaky.
He's still out. Oh my god.
Oh no, earthquake.
Dang.
59 3/4 outside.
Hey, Bo. How are you?
Pretty good. Been a while.
I know. Where you been?
What you working on here?
I'm making some mock-up tabs for the 4-link arms. Yeah, for that axle too that we got. Being a laser cutter right now. Just like that. That's a hole.
That's a nice hole there, bud.
Thanks, bud. What's up, y'all? It's been a few weeks since Mr. Miller's been here, but made some good progress on the rear clip of the truck. Got the C-notch in. We did that pretty much first. Kibby made the C-notch and gave us all the parts and the fuel cell. So we finally got that in a couple weeks ago, and we've been you know, digging away on the rear clip of the truck. So slid the C-notch over the stock frame, got it welded in place, cut this out for the axle housing so it can travel a little bit more, and then welded it solid, plated the outside of the frame. You can see here we double passed it, and a lot of welding, lots of welding on this thing. Got the Kibby Tech fuel cell cradle in. Had to make some bungs and weld them in the frame to hang it from the bottom there. So I did that yesterday, and then we got crossbars in, more crossbars down there, the frame to the upper link mounts. We're just gonna dig away on it. So we got the front mounts all welded up from Kibby also. They mount to the frame, and then we had to drill a hole through the frame, make a bushing so it doesn't smash the frame, and we tighten the bolt all the way through. So we got the bushing in the frame welded up, and then we welded the mount up, and then put the extra support on to reinforce it.
It's pretty heavy duty.
Yeah, super heavy duty. So I think the dang frame rail will break in half before that mount falls off. So
You were up under mounting that brace, right? This morning?
so we got, if you look from here, you can see we got another crossbar in with some supports to the upper link mounts for more structural rigidity and keep it from chassis from twisting, and to help upper mount. So here we just got a tube. We're just gonna make a mock axle. We're gonna make some brackets, hang the lowers off of, and we're gonna make a temporary thing to hold the uppers to, so we can travel the axle, travel the tube up and down, just make sure we're good on clearances and everything, and then we can put the bed on and finish bracing the chassis. So pretty much on the back half of the truck, only thing we used is the original frame rails. We cut all the supports out, all the bed mounts, fuel cell mounts, everything. So all we're using from the factory truck is the rear frame rails, and everything else is either from Kibby or custom fab.
It's not an over or a weekend project, is
No,
it?
it's definitely not a weekend project. It's a few more weeks than that, and lots of time, and something you need a little bit of patience and a lot of time with.
Yeah.
So lots of welding, lots of fabbing, lots of measuring, lots of checking.
A lot of equipment gone
Yeah, a lot
into
of
just.
equipment goes into it. So you know what they say, measure twice, cut once. So far, everything's been really good. All the Kibby stuff's really super nice. So excited to be working with nice parts.
Definitely easy.
Yeah, really nice parts. So it's awesome to work with that stuff.
Nice when everything's the same measurement on each side.
Everything's the same quality or better.
Yeah.
It's good to see production parts with that high quality.
Absolutely.
So like Jake said earlier, we started working on a front bumper for this truck. We made a template and sent it out to a buddy. He's gonna roll it for us, the bumper bar, but we made templates, and he laser cut these tabs for us. So our goal is to have it as a bolt-on Prerunner style bumper. So the tab here, bolted to the stock frame, to the frame here. Then we'll weld this all up. Made for the engine cross member, this piece here. So that's all laser cut and press broke. So once we get the bumper bar rolled and bent, we can get it mounted and go from there.
Get it hooked up, yeah.
Jump your little ass up there.
Can we get up in here?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you coming around the other side? Okay.
they think I'm going inside the store without
Oh
them.
my god, this is like moving.
Huh?
So it's like moving. Daggum.
Oh, there's the light we were looking for.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, right.
It'll mount to the, it'll bolt to the stock frame. So we made some templates. Bless you. Yeah, start over.
No, you're
Cut.
good. You're good. Just, yeah, I guess so.